Picture this, a life where you're surrounded by people who lift you up, inspire your soul, and ignite your passions. Not people who drain your energy, cut you down, and leave you feeling empty inside. By raising your vibration, you attract others who resonate with your energy and empower you to be the best version of yourself. It's time to manifest meaningful connections and create a tribe that fuels your growth and happiness. Are you ready to step into your full power and find your high vibe tribe? Okay, well, stay tuned because we're dropping all the gems on finding your high vibe tribe and transforming your life.
All right. Welcome to the AlignUs Mastermind podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nikhil Sharma, and I'm so grateful to have you guys here with us today. In today's topic, we're going to be discussing how to create a high vibrational community and tribe. And joining me with us today are my lovely and amazing co-hosts. We have Kevin Drummond, who is a growth and mindset expert. What's going on, man?
What's going on? I'm happy to be here, ready to get this conversation started, talk about vibration, one of the most important themes in my life right now. It's all about vibration, surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded and who are vibrating at a very, very high level. Allows you to attract exactly what you want.
Love it. And we have Chris Garner, who is a mental and fitness coach. What's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on, gang? How y'all feeling?
Been good, man. Glad that you're here with us, man. It's been too long. And so I'm excited about what today's going to bring. And then we have Christina Sephara, who is a UGC content creator and supermom. What's going on, girl? How are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing good.
All right. Well, I'm glad everyone's here today. And you were kind of the inspiration behind today's topic on, how we can create high vibrational communities and tribes. And I just think that topic is great because, going along this journey of life, we can't do it alone. And in order for us to be able to have emotional fulfillment and be able to self-actualize to our highest potential, you need the right support. You need the right tribe. You need the right community to help inspire you to reach that potential.
Absolutely. So there was a study I learned in college, and just very briefly, the overview of it, and this has stuck with me it's been 10 years. So it was very impactful on the way that I lived my life and the way that I thought about things. There was a study on addiction, and it was rats in a cage, and they were given a water bottle and a water bottle with cocaine in it. So the rats alone in a cage, they loved the cocaine. They would choose that over and over again. And this guy came along and said, well, wait a minute, let's try something different here. And he took the rats out of their isolated cages. And then he created Rat Park, which is like heaven for rats. So there was things to do. There was tons of other rats. So there was friends and stuff for them to make. And then they also put in the same water bottles, one without cocaine, one with. The rats, almost every single one of them within just a couple days completely stopped choosing the water with the cocaine in it and then chose just the regular water. They were happy. They were fulfilled without the drugs when they were given other things to occupy their time, things to do. I mean, the importance of having support, community, it makes the biggest difference in the world.
Love the word choice too. You said they were fulfilled. It's all about fulfillment.
Yes.
And so many of us sacrifice our fulfillment for others. And when you're around the right people, they want to see you fulfilled. They want to see you win. They want to see you happy. And once we figure that out, that there are people out there that want you to be fulfilled as much as you do, your whole life changes. And it's just a perspective shift.
It is raising up your energy or your vibration. There's different terms for it, but it's almost like you start to attract the right people, and then you can kind of let go of the people that are more draining on you, that don't leave you feeling energized and happy. I don't come onto this podcast and leave feeling ugh. I leave feeling excited for my day. The people that actually kind of fit into your vibrational frequencies, they will lift you up higher and higher. They will leave you feeling energized, motivated, happy, fulfilled.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Those people that you're referring to, I learned a while back, are referred to as vampires because they suck the life out of you.
Yes.
They take your energy, they take your time, And then when they're done, they walk away, and then you're just left feeling drained, like you said. I'm now happily divorced, and that was something that I felt on an everyday basis. And it was no one's fault but my own, because I continuously decided to leave myself unfulfilled, trying to be the perfect husband, be the perfect dad, and I had nothing left for myself. And I was just continuously drained over and over and over again. But I got so used to it that I normalized it. And I thought that was normal. And the people that were around me, they were like, oh, it's fine. Like, just wait until 9 o'clock tonight. We'll go grab some beers and you'll feel better. We'll talk about it. And that became my norm. It was like drain yourself and then sedate yourself. Drain yourself and then sedate yourself.
Love that.
And I
Yeah.
feel like that's the story of so many people in America today. And you don't have to live that way. I'm really, truly grateful for having friends and colleagues like you all, to where we can have conversations, we can work towards goals, we can lift each other up, put each other in winning positions, and not feel drained at the end of the day. And I love the fact that we're putting this message out there, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So bringing people's awareness to the fact that, hey, this isn't actually normal, and you can actually be around people that want to see you win, that want to lift you up, and that aren't draining, that will actually energize you. Me and Nick talk about it all the time. Like, sometimes I might have like a stomach ache, or I might have back-to-back meetings, and it's been such a draining day. And then he'll get on the phone with me, and I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, bro.
Let's go. Like, he got my energy up. Chris does the same thing. When we used to get on calls, he would tell me about his experiences and how he was able to rebound from different experiences and different points and times of his life where, he was ready to quit, but then he doubled down on his purpose. He doubled down on what he knew he needed to do. He put in the work. I'm just like, wow, like, you did it. And the person that he used to talk about, it doesn't sound like anyone that I know. It doesn't sound like the Chris that's in front of us today. So I'm just like,
Exactly.
I love hearing stories like that. It energizes you. It revitalizes you. Like, I get excited just talking about this. And so many people don't realize that these types of environments and relationships exist.
You know, it's very important to understand your value to that group, So like, let's take the four of us, right? Each of us have to understand the value that we bring to this group. And I talk to people like, for example, my mom talks about the fact that she doesn't have a network like what we have right here. And I understand, like, sometimes it's tough because you got to vet people out. You got to see where you fit into the equation. Like, yeah, it's super tough. But I think step number one is realizing the value that you bring to the table. You can't come to the table empty-handed. You got to come there with something. And that kind of segues into a point that I want to hit about, even if we feel like we don't have many options, we always have a choice. And when we make the right choices, we just attract people like this, like, you make the right choices for yourself and say, hey, I'm going to have a positive outlook. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to keep a smile on my face. I'm going to make, someone else's day better. And next thing you know, you're in environments like this one. And it's kind of like the cocaine rats, you know what I mean? Like, you don't feed your vices anymore. Your vices are not the fuel that's driving your car. Now it's the environment. Now it's the people that you're around, and this is what's going to just build and build and build. And it's like a positive momentum. You're going downhill, but in a positive, manner. So,
Love it.
yeah, hopefully that resonates. I mean, I know it resonates with you all, but, to the viewers too, that you got to start within. I know that's really cliche. You got to start within. But, things like this, they will organically, find you. And then, you build up on that.
Human energy equals thoughts plus feelings and emotions. So think about that. Our energy is composed of our thoughts and our emotions. And so what influences our thoughts? One thing is our environment, who we are around, what we're listening to, what we are absorbing. That certainly plays a large role into the type of energy that we are putting out every single day. So, for example, I grew up in an environment that was strict in nature. I'm an only child. And so my friends and my environment became very important for me. They were my outreach, they were my release. And so in order for me to get away from that overly strict environment, I wanted to hang around with a group of individuals who knew how to have fun. And by fun, that just meant like escaping, that meant releasing. And so that started at a very young age, in elementary school, then carried over to middle school, then high school. Then that same energy that I wanted to have fun and be around an environment that was releasing continued to college. And so I realized that group of fun people that wanted to be all about, releasing and not being present ended up being a group of people that were in a low vibrational state. One that has guilt, one that has shame, one really that's in a lot of pride. And so what happens when you're around that group of individuals in a low vibrational atmosphere? Your reality becomes very low vibrational. The conversations that you're having about work, about love, about girls, those conversations are very low vibrational. And so the reality that came in front of me was having a lot of unfulfilled relationships because of the group that I was around and the conversations I was having and the thoughts that I was believing. Like, this is what a relationship should be like, because I'm seeing that happen all around me. And so I only realized that recently that, wow, either consciously or subconsciously, our thoughts are really affected by those that are around us. That environment that we've been surrounded by since a very young age has played a large role in how I'm showing up every single day. And so in order to change, like Chris, you said, I needed to go within myself and figure out what are my values, or is what is going on around me, my friends, are their values my values, or am I just succumb to their values because it just has become so comfortable for me, and my like neuronal pathways have become so used to that way of being that yes, that is my value. And so that is like the first big step in order to change. And I hope this is really resonating for people out there, because you can see how from a very young age, your friends develop based on what your environment was like at home and what you needed to survive. And so once I started noticing a really negative pattern of things occurring in my life, and then I'm getting advice from those who are in low vibrational atmosphere and low vibrational energies, right? You can see how it becomes very toxic.
Very. Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question for you, Nick.
Yeah.
What was the turning point when you realized, like, wait, I can't think like y'all? Like, this is very low vibration. Do you remember? Because you kind of just made me think about myself, and I'm asking myself that. So I want to ask you, like, when did you realize I have to separate from you all, like, even if it's just emotionally, in order to get my life together?
Yeah, for me, it happened after I crashed and burned. And what I mean by that is that when you're constantly around a low vibrational environment and you have become very low vibrational, it affects your reality. And so when your reality is very low vibrational, and what that does is it creates this negative feedback loop. And like you said, Kevin, you would drain and then you would sedate. You would drain and then you would sedate, meaning my energy would be so low and I would feel so guilty about myself that I would start, doing things that weren't good for me and good for my body and good for my mind. Whether that was ingesting too many different, I guess alcohol or different like substances, whatever it was, to escape the reality that I had created for myself. And that led to, being burnt out, because again, a way of escaping for me was working too much. So to answer your question, I began to really make that change once I saw how it affected my reality, how I had to like go through a dark night of the soul and really realize that the life that I'm meant for isn't what I'm currently surrounded with right now. And that in order for me to change, In order for us to change our energy, we have to do two different things. We have to change our thoughts and we have to change our emotions, right? But our emotions are influenced by our thoughts. And in order for me to change my thought, I have to change my environment and the way I'm putting my energy out there. So when I detached from all energies and I put that back into myself, I began to create a foundation that was much more nurturing for my soul, because I realized I needed to be around something that was more uplifting, more positive. You know, being a sensitive individual, I had to figure out what was making my soul happy. And so that meant removing energies that were all around me and then coming back with a stronger foundation and being more intentional about the connections that I was making.
Yeah, you just dropped a huge gem in regards to the thoughts and emotions. I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to bring in the idea of manifestation as well as science. So you brought up thoughts, you brought up emotions. So simply put, thoughts are electricity. They're the spark. When you have a new idea, you always think of like a light bulb, right? Then you have emotions. That's magnetism. That is a magnet. That's why you can attract things to you based on your emotions. So if you're constantly sad, if you're constantly doing things out of guilt, that's low vibrational. You're going to magnetize more of that to you. If you have bad ideas, and when I say bad, if you have thoughts of doing ill will or things that aren't good for the well-being of others, as well as just in your life, you're going to continue to have those types of thoughts because it's a spark. You're going to spark more thoughts like that. It's a domino effect. When you start to have different thoughts, which is like your mindset, changing those things, then you start to have different emotions and you start feeling enthusiastic about your future with those thoughts. You put those two things together and you start to attract more situations that are like the thoughts that you have been thinking and more situations that are going to make you feel the way that you've been feeling. So that's how you can actually put yourself into the future that you are trying to create. If you are trying to create a reality in which you no longer have to worry about money, think about how would it feel for you to have money? How would it feel to go on vacation and not have to check your bank account while you're on vacation? Like, I want to treat everyone to a round of drinks, but I think I only have like $100 in my account. And I'm saying these examples because I've been there, right? I've always been very giving. I always want to, be the guy to pay for stuff, but sometimes I didn't have it. And a lot of times I try to do it on the slick, like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. I didn't use the bathroom. I'm just going to look at my bank account. Like, okay, I really buy this round of drinks. And so when you start to change your thoughts, like, okay, I see myself on this yacht, living it up, everything's paid for. I still have a couple $100,000 in my account, not worrying about a single thing. And then how does that feel? I'm thinking about it, I'm visualizing it, and then I'm feeling that positivity. You start to attract that into your life. So if you focus on just your thoughts and your emotions and you're very intentional about that, your whole life will change. And anyone can do that. You don't have to have money to change your thoughts. You don't have to have money to change your emotions. So you can't make any excuses about why you can't create the future that you want. All you're doing is just not committing to yourself. And like Chris said, you have to know your value. You have to know your worth. Once you know your worth, you start treating yourself better. You start saying, you know what? I'm worth the time to be intentional about my thoughts. I'm worth the time to figure out how exactly I want to feel in the future. And then, like Nick said, like what values are important to you? Because if family is important to you, if your kids are important to you, if being around like-minded individuals are important to you, if philanthropy is important to you, and you start thinking about those things and being intentional about that, you're going to attract people that are very similar and like-minded that have those same values, and your whole life will change. But it starts with knowing your worth, knowing your value, and then knowing what exactly you're trying to create, and stop just going through the monotonous, like day-to-day routines and just saying, woe is me, playing the victim. Like that's dead. Like stop doing that. Be intentional, know what you want, and start doing something about it. Stop making excuses and just start with your thoughts, start with your emotions, and then everything will change.
And to build on that too, I think if someone's in that situation where they relate to like, okay, I know I have very low vibrational friends, a low vibrational energy, But what do I do? And so in addition to, you know, your thoughts and your emotions and everything, and kind of starting to manifest that, for me, I had no self-worth, not just like low self-worth. I had none. I didn't believe I deserved that. I didn't think I deserved in that situation anything better, a better life, better friends, better, you know what I mean, environment. And so as I started to shift that and learn that like I am worthy of a good life, what makes me not worthy as opposed to someone else? That's where you can start. If you really, you know, don't think you can change your situation, start to know that you are worthy. You are deserving of love, of success, of happiness. Absolutely everybody is. So start there.
I love that. I love that. I love that you said that because people, I think like guys just naturally, we're really good at like the big picture. Women are so good at the how. How do we implement? And I just appreciated that because I know that like there are so many people that I personally know with, I guess, where you used to be, low or no self-worth. And I mean, I don't know, it wasn't my message, but it was yours. And I'm like, they need to hear that. They need to hear like start small. You know, like start with, hey, you know, what separates me from that person? Like there's nothing different. You know, like I'm just as worthy as that person. And I guess I'll just end it with perception is everything. We've all kind of been at that place in life where, you know, we feel like crap. And it's funny because like something happens, but nothing changes. I know y'all have been there. Something happens, but nothing changes. And you go from zero to hero. And you're like, yo, I feel incredible. I can like take on the world. And then when you like look at it, it's like, I mean, I'm still literally sitting in the boiling pot of water, but I feel good. You know, perception is everything. And I think that that fuels the magnetism part of things. You know, that's how we start to attract people and events into our lives because we just work on our outlook of life.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, you know, just for our viewers and listeners out there, when we're talking about high vibrational individuals, we're talking about individuals who are coming from a place of love, who are coming from a place of joy, who have courage, who have honesty, willingness, you know, these types of character traits, and as well as authenticity and integrity, right? That is what, you know, being in a high vibrational place is. You know, that people can be real and discuss their dark side and what they've been through in life, and being able to be confident enough to be like, you know what, I've been in your shoes before. I understand what you're going through. They can empathize really well with you. And most importantly, that you feel very nurtured around those individuals. You know, you feel very genuine. Your soul tells you that they're being authentic.
Yeah.
And that is what being surrounded by an authentic and a high vibrational energy feels like. And so I feel like, you know, that process and change takes time. It has taken me a couple years to make that transition from being around a certain environment that had helped me in so many different ways, but also set me back in a lot of different ways. And everyone's journey is different. You know, we often start tying our journeys to the groups that we are around, but you realize that group isn't really necessarily aligned with who you are at the age that you are at now or at this point in your life's journey. So it's okay to change. It's okay to attract a different tribe. It doesn't mean that you have to say goodbye to that tribe. It's just that you're being more intentional about where you're putting your energy at.
Definitely.
Talk that talk.
You know,
you can decide right now, like in this moment, I'm going to change. I'm going to change right now. And it starts small. Do not compare your day one, your moment one, your minute one to someone's year 10. Someone has been working on this for years and years. I mean, I've been working on this for 7 years. And I finally feel like in the last maybe 2 or 3 years or so, that I've really, really made some huge, drastic improvements and changes. It takes time and everybody has their own journey. So your time might be a little longer, a little shorter, you know, just find your path.
Yeah, that's so well said. And right now we live in this day and age where we want instant gratification. We want everything right now. And comparison is a terrible drug. And it's a drug that so many of us take mainly due to social media. We see what people our age have compared to ourselves. We see their relationships, we see their cars, we see their houses, we see their families, and we compare ourselves. And our lives are completely different. Yes, we all have blood going through our veins. Yes, we're all human beings. That's why you can achieve anything that you want. But at the same time, we're all on our own unique journeys. And to piggyback on what Nick said earlier, one thing that you can do today, besides changing your thoughts and your emotions, is start being honest with yourself. Start living authentically. And I can only speak on my own journey. And I have no problem embracing my failures. I have no problem embracing the person that I used to be, because I had to be that former version of myself to get where I am. And one of the things that I used to do all the time is I used to lie. And when I say I used to lie a lot. And I am in an area of sales most of the time. So it became an art form. It was an art form in making the sale. And when you're making that sale of the lie, you embellish on that line, you build on it and you build on it, and you build on it. But then what happens is you begin forgetting all these different parts of the lie, and then you get caught up, and that causes you stress. That increases cortisol. So now you're deteriorating your body, your mind, because of all these lies that you told, most of the time because I was comparing myself, or I was trying to live up to something that I wasn't yet, right? So be honest with yourself, right? Be compassionate with yourself, extend grace, because once you do that, you can start to live more authentically. You can start embracing all your missteps. Instead of lying, you can say, you know what? This happened for a reason. What did I learn from this? When you change your perspective, everything else changes. You change your personality, which is your perspective, you change your reality. And so if you start living more authentically today by just saying, you know what? I'm not going to tell any more lies. I'm just going to say what it is. And I'm going to deal with or embrace the consequences of me telling the truth. Because the other thing is, if you're trying to speak things into existence, you're trying to use your words, right? Everything starts as a thought, and then it comes out as words, and then it can potentially manifest into reality. It can't happen if your words don't have a charge, and your words won't have a charge if all the things that you say are lies. So the more you start speaking the truth, the more that your brain starts to say, oh, he's saying this, I'm going to begin attracting those opportunities, attracting those people, attracting that tribe, that he is able to create the reality that he's trying to speak into existence. But if you're speaking lies, then your brain's gonna be like, oh, he's just talking again. We know that's not true. So now the things you're trying to manifest, the affirmations you're trying to affirm within yourself, they're not have any power, because everything else that has come out of your mouth has been false. So what makes this any different? So start living more authentically. That was a great gem. We have been giving gems after gems after gems on this podcast. Like, this is $1 million podcast for sure. You start acting today on this stuff, I mean, your whole life changes, period.
It does.
Yeah, this is the kind of feeling that you should be feeling when you're around a high vibrational tribe, for real. Like this kind of energy. You start learning from each other. You start giving each other inspo. It's just beautiful. And so it just takes time to get there. And let us know if you guys have any questions in the comments. We're so grateful for y'all to be here today. And until next time, peace.